Okay, I'm back. Hi, hello, welcome. Ignore the fucking mess in the room. I know it's been a while. I've just kind of been like doing like college shit and like I work at the same time, and then I'm on like the midst of moving out to like a new apartment, so it's been pretty fucking hectic. And I said that I was gonna do an HRT of the video, I didn't, and then I was like, I'll do it next month. I never did it, but I'm back. I'm gonna share with you the things that have happened and yeah, what has been going on in my life and shit. So there have been changes. I think that I'm gonna post like a picture probably like here, I guess. I'm gonna post a picture here of like my first video, so you can like have that for reference. I think I look pretty different. People have told me like your face looks like a tad bit different, and yeah, like overall my face structure has changed like pretty noticeably. I think that's one of the most noticeable changes that I've noticed these past like 2 months. I'm still not at the 6-month mark, but I'm like a few days off. I started the 24th, May 24th, so it's not that far. Probably by the time this video is out, I hit that milestone, and what's that? That's like, it's a week away. Like there aren't gonna be like any changes in a week. So I've noticed face changes that has been going on. Thankfully now I work in retail, and it's pretty common that people approach me as well, they say like chica in Spanish, which is like, what's that in English? What's the equivalent of chica in English? It's like miss. Yeah, like miss. They like approach me as miss, and then I start talking and they're like, oh. And then I'm like, oh. But yeah, thankfully, like usually when people approach me now, it's like miss instead of dude. I'm wearing my headphones. If I like let my hair do its thing, I think that also helps in the appearance, and like people usually treat me like a woman. It doesn't happen always. Shit, I just fucking whacked the shit out of that. It doesn't happen always. Like not everybody treats me like that, and other people get it quicker than others, but it's progress. Another thing that I've noticed is that my body has begun to like redistribute the fat in a noticeable way as well. Let's see if I can show properly. So I used to have like no hip dips. Like this is non-existent. Now it like at least it's like going its way. So it's begun to like go its way. So that's another thing that's begun to happen. I mentioned in my last video that I was starting to get like breast bud sensitivity, like the sensitivity in my breast buds were increasing. It's weird because it like comes and goes in waves. It doesn't stay the same. Like it's not as sensitive always. Usually what happens is that it gets sensitive by the time that I like start noticing that hey, like kind of it's perking out a bit more. But they've definitely have started to like fill out a tad bit. Still at the top area it hasn't filled in, but they're like noticeable now. If I'm wearing like a regular t-shirt, you can notice the poking. Like the nipples are like, they're poking, they're like doing their thing. So that's another thing that I've noticed. Mood changes, I think it's pretty much stayed similarly the same. I mentioned in my previous videos that I was finding myself in a much better mood. I'm like, it's like weird, it's interesting because it's like, it's the same, but the feelings that I would experience before that were like outbursty, they like stayed controlled. But now if I'm feeling fucking happy, if I'm joyed, if I'm feeling joy, it shows through. So yeah, I mentioned before like how much of that is like the hormones, and like how much of that is the product of me starting HRT and like finally getting on this journey that I've always wanted to be in. Like, it's pretty hard to delineate where the line is, but I'm pretty sure that it's a combination of both. Like, nothing happens devoid of like the influence of hormones and like hormonal changes. All of that affects behavior and stuff. To what degree? I don't know, but stuff has happened. So that's another thing. I'm trying to, genetics has a big part to do with that. If you ask your doctor if you're like trans and you're going through HRT and you're like male to female, then one thing that they're going to tell you is that, a lot of these changes are heavily influenced by like your genetics, right? If you have a family with like really prominent chest, then you're probably gonna get somewhere like closer to that. And same thing with other features, like body features. So it's good to keep a realistic view of things that, hey, I might not get to that point like really quickly or in the span of time that I wanted to, but again, all of this is like it's a journey that takes a lot of time. A lot of people say that, well, a lot of like trans people that have transition often say that, there are changes that you're gonna see a couple of years in. These aren't things that like happen really quickly. So yeah, what else do I want to talk about? It's kind of funny because I remember back in my first video, there were like, of course, like you get the comment being like, oh, you're making a mistake, you're gonna regret it, and all these things. And there was a person that responded, listen, if this person's transitioning, she's probably like thought about that a lot. And it's true. It's something that I considered a lot, and something that I always told myself is that if I ever feel like uncomfortable with the changes at any point, I would just cease, I would just stop. And that hasn't happened. Like, it's completely the opposite. Going through like HRT has really always thought like I can't imagine the day that I just like go back home, or like I greet my parents and like wearing makeup and like wearing feminine clothing, and my parents just like came to my apartment to hand me my laptop that I left back at their house, and I just like went out as I am, like this. And it's something that I didn't think that I would do, but now I have the courage, and like I feel secure in myself to like do that. So yeah, I guess like to tie it back to what I was mentioning before, if I could go back to like give myself advice to that little kid in their room, just like dreaming about living as themselves, as like being able to wear makeup and like wear the clothes that they want to wear and present in a feminine manner freely, I just tell myself like, hey, listen, you're never gonna get that sudden moment where your anxiety and your nervousness goes away. That doesn't happen, you know. I transitioned and went through like gaining independence regardless of like how anxious I felt. Like I still felt anxious. I was still scared with the things that could happen, but these are things that you do one day at a time. You don't just transition and, you know, the next day I'm just gonna present as myself and I'm gonna wear the makeup and like wear feminine clothing and I'm gonna be out and, you know, I'm gonna feel 100% secure. That doesn't happen, you know. You have to take like a more realistic approach and be like, okay, what do I feel comfortable doing right now? What do I feel comfortable with experimenting? It could be a tad bit of makeup, it could be wearing like more androgynous clothing. I've mentioned it before. These are things that you have to take one step at a time, not something that you do and then that's it. Like you just like gain all the confidence in the world. No, confidence is something that you develop. It's not something that you just gain in the middle of the night. So if you like want to seek counseling or like therapy, or you're thinking about transitioning, figure out what is it that you can do right now. The first step for me was to get counseling. I went to a local LGBT center, and you know, I didn't go there dressed as I am right now and like wearing makeup. I just, you know, I was wearing my hoodie. I was wearing my dysphoria hoodie, and I just entered there and I talked to them, and they were like completely understanding, because you have to understand that like these people that do counseling and do therapy, they are not there to like critique you and to be like, oh, you're not trans enough, or like this is not for you because you're not wearing X or Y, or because you're not wearing makeup, or because you're not presenting in this or that way, you know. And if your therapist is doing that, if your counselor is doing that, you need to get a new one, because you know, everybody goes through their journeys at their own pace, and just because you present yourself in a specific way, it's, you know, that's completely separate from where you want to be. So this is just something that you have to take one step at a time. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is voice and voice training, which I've been avoiding, because that for me is the scariest part. Like when I start voice training, then, you know, it just breaks everything. It's like, that's me authentic, like 100%. Like when I get that, that's me. But it's something that takes a lot of time, I've heard, and it's something that you have to practice daily. So I need to like go at it slow and like change either resonance or like the pitch slowly so that it's not as shocking to me and to like everyone around, to just like, oh, one day I just get there and then I'm just talking in like a feminine voice and like that. It's like shocking, and if people hear that just like that, it's gonna be scary. So I'm thinking of just like practicing on my free time until I get to a point where I'm comfortable with using it with probably new people that I meet or like friends that I'm close with. So yeah, I think that's it. Honestly, will I do more videos? I don't fucking know. I don't feel like saying expect another video in like a couple of days, because I don't know if I'm gonna post another video. I don't know if I'm gonna record another video. Probably I will. I'll try. But yeah, thank you for watching the video. I hope you like it. If you learned something, leave a comment. If you want to share your experience or something, you can also comment that. Or if you want to like request something, I don't know. Yeah, that's it. Bye bye.